The Allied bombing of Bosnian Serbs stops, at least for now, after the Serbs say they're ready to pull back their big guns. Bob Simon and Mike Wallace on how the deal was done. Belarus says it's sorry for the deaths of 2 American balloonists it shot out of the sky. The U.S. says sorry, that isn't enough. And nationwide raids and arrests in a federal crackdown on child pornography in cyberspace.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting tonight from Los Angeles.
Good evening. U.S. and Allied bombing crews are standing down tonight as American diplomats work on what they believe may be an opening for peace in Bosnia. They are working on a deal that would lift the siege of Sarajevo and set the stage for a political settlement among the Serbs, Croats, and Muslims. Correspondent Bob Simon has the latest from Sarajevo.
The skies were quiet over Sarajevo today, and it wasn't just because of the clouds. NATO declared a bombing pause to permit the diplomats to get a deal.
I must stress that this is a temporary pause and that NATO's Operation Deliberate Force, as such, continues.
It was the subtle diplomacy of U.S. envoy Richard Holbrooke which secured the pause. He met for 11 hours last night with Serbian President Milosevic. Not seen in the photo op, but present at the meeting, were Bosnian Serb leaders and indicted war criminals Radovan Karadzic and General Ratko Mladic. Holbrooke flew on to Zagreb this morning to meet the Croatian president.
We are carrying a message from the Serbian side concerning the situation in Bosnia and with particular reference to Sarajevo.
It was more than a message, it was the draft of a deal. Sources say the Serbs agreed to withdraw their heavy weapons from around Sarajevo in exchange for guarantees that they would not be attacked by the Bosnian government. There would also be a ceasefire in the Sarajevo area and a prolonged bombing pause. The urgency was prompted by Western fears that the Bosnians and Croatians were capturing so much land on the other side of the country that the whole peace process could unravel. The airstrikes were certainly contributing to the Serb defeats. But the last thing the Bosnian government wants is a bombing pause. And after meeting with Bosnian President Izetbegovic tonight, it seemed that Holbrooke had not sealed the deal. The American sense of urgency is as palpable as the skepticism in Sarajevo. People here have seen these deals before, they've seen ceasefires, they've heard Serb promises, and they've always ended with more shelling, more death. The only difference this time is the involvement of the Americans, their diplomats, and their bombs. Bob Simon, CBS News, Sarajevo.
60 Minutes correspondent Mike Wallace recently returned from the Balkans, where he interviewed Bosnian Serb leader Radovan Karadzic. Mike, how and why was an American diplomat negotiating with indicted war criminals last night?
Actually, Dan, only 2 of the 3 men he was negotiating with are indicted war criminals. The third is the godfather of them all, Slobodan Milosevic, who's the president of Serbia. He is the man who started the whole campaign of ethnic cleansing, of rape and murder and torture in the name of a greater Serbia. And he used Radovan Karadzic, the president of the Bosnian Serbs, and Ratko Mladic, his commanding general, a tough gentleman, as cat's paws in his campaign, or in the overall campaign, to drive the Muslims out of their homes in Bosnia. Those 2, Karadzic, Mladic, have been indicted by the UN War Crimes Tribunal in The Hague. Obviously, Dan, the United States has made a calculated decision to deal with indicted war criminals in the interest of trying to bring an end to the slaughter in the former Yugoslavia. Some may call it a deal with the devil, but that is the deal that Richard Holbrooke, now dubbed by some the Kissinger of the Balkans, has made. Dan?
Mike Wallace, thanks. Mike's profile of the indicted war criminal Radovan Karadzic will appear on 60 Minutes this Sunday. The White House says it has still not received an adequate explanation from the former Soviet Republic of Belarus for the downing of a sport balloon. 2 Americans were killed